It's Christine Wilson and Saphira Galoob, and you'll thank us later. Tune in every week and hang out with us because we're a lot of fun.
And no topics off the record, we decided. We are open to talking about everything together with a bit of a sense of humor, a lot of self-forgiveness, a lot of grace, and always being wiser on the other end. Bring it on, girls and boys.
You know what? You'll thank me later that I'm telling you about this. You'll thank me. They're going to hate us, Saphira. It's going to be nuts. Hey, Saphira.
Well, I could say happy spring because all the cherry blossoms are here in Washington, D.C.
And it is spring. I love it. I love this time of year when there's more light and it's nice out. I sat outside. My sister came into town and she and my mom and my dad and I went and sat on the rooftop of their building yesterday evening and just sat in the sun. Oh, it was so nice. It was a little chilly, but it was really nice.
Chilly. Well, I know we're going to be talking about travel tips and spring breaks, but before we do, I have to actually ask you a fashion question.
Okay.
I have this conference this week, and I have to be like cute all week, and I don't want to wear pants.
Yeah.
My legs, I have a really fair skin. I kind of got that Eastern European coloring, and it's like it feels like it's too early to go bare-legged. It's too late to wear black tights. So am I just going to Wolford and getting like a really nice nude hose? What am I doing?
It's so funny you asked that because on Friday I had a meeting and I wanted to wear this cute little short corduroy dress that I just got. And I put it on and I put on like kind of like cute dressy sneakers with it and nothing on my legs. And I looked down and I was like, oh no, that looks awful. And I don't wear pantyhose, and I don't even think I have a good pair of pantyhose anymore. So I put on black tights, but to keep it fun, I wore kind of like sort of modern Chelsea boots with it.
Okay.
My husband did say I was channeling my 90s goth girl with the whole outfit.
No,
but
I can't go there because this is like in the Capitol.
Yeah, but you could wear heels with tights.
Well, so that's the thing is I'm going to wear heels, but if I do tights, then it's going to have a real opaque leg versus, because I don't want to wear black tights, right?
I know. I mean, I did wear black tights on Friday. It did feel like but it was chilly that day. So then
Right.
This is the no man's land right now.
It's really tricky. I mean, I do buy an expensive pair of pantyhose because I think it makes all the difference. And so I just go get a nice nude or a nice soft cream or something. But I normally wouldn't. And of course, you could just wear pants, but I'm also trying to maybe not wear pants. Anyway,
I think the way to go would be to buy a nice pair of pantyhose, no cheapies.
Yeah.
And there are those almost sheer tights.
Well, again, I'm going to go to Wolford. I mean, folks out there, if you don't want to know like the best pair, they have the best pair ever. And it's just the way it lays on your leg, the way it hugs in your hips. You're going to spend some money on it, but it is.
Yeah. Now, do they run easily or are they pretty durable? Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not hard on things at all, but actually, preparing today, we are talking about tips for international travel. And you are getting ready to take a group of 6 to Spain. You are so courageous. Courageous.
Here's the problem. I just had a big meltdown for Saphira's. As Saphira watched
6, 7. Sorry, 7 to Spain.
Well, 6. Me plus 6. Yes. Yeah. So I just was telling Saphira that I know that when you travel internationally, your passport can't be expiring. Like usually, I always think of most countries as like within 6 months, and Spain is within 3 months. And I had this moment today, and I realized the boys got their passports in 2020. And so I went and looked and it's June 2020. So June 29th, 2025, it expires, which is 1 week before we would need it to expire to be able to go in early April to Spain. So my sister and Saphira both know how to game the system and were telling me how to get the urgent appointments and all the things you had to do. And my choice instead was to throw money at the problem. And I used HelloGov. There's also a website called Rush My Passport. And I did everything really, really well and very quickly got all the documents, everything together, except I somehow screwed up the order because I did the initial order on my phone and I did Ronan's for a name change rather than an actual new children's passport, which costs the same amount. So I pushed some button wrong and I have to wait till tomorrow morning when someone can fix my order. And then I can get the rest of Ronan's documents in there. But you have to go to one of those acceptance appointments, which would be like at the post office in Falls Church. And so that would be on Tuesday. And then you have to ship off the packet of everything. So the good news is I have all the birth certificates. I found their social security numbers. I have passport photos. I have everything ready. Everything ready. You have to go submit. But here's the one other thing. Proof of who the parents are. The parents, it says, does parent number 1 have a valid driver's license not issued within the last 6 months? Of course, OJ's was reissued in December.
Not issued.
Yeah. And I'm like, come on. So I don't know.
We're supposed to go on this trip. These are not signs against you.
I know. My mom goes, maybe you just stayed home. I'm like, no, I don't care if I'm going by myself. I'm the one. And then, okay. So then in the midst of all this, while I'm having that meltdown, Oach just went away to Chile and Argentina like a couple months ago. And he, for the life of him, cannot figure out where he put his passport. He has
to be in the house. You told me it has to be in the house.
It has to be in the house. But the funny part is he has cleaned out like his closet, his bedside table. I mean, he's going to town. I have this drawer where I keep our passports. I knew his wasn't in there with it. And I was like, you can clean out this drawer for me if you want. It's like that junk drawer that in your bedroom that just collects every receipt and button and crap picture. So I think that this podcast, my contribution will be what not to do. And your contribution can be what we should do.
Well, I do want to kind of do the little tell of what the trick is. So the way that if you have an urgent travel, the U.S. Passport Office will let you do a rush trip. You just have to basically tell them that you're traveling internationally in 3 days or 5 days or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be within the city of, I mean, if you guys don't live in like a place where there's a passport office, you have to fly to a passport office. But what you do is you purchase a refundable trip to Mexico City or wherever out of the country in 3 days. And then you can show, and by the way, you actually only have to show the ticket when you show up for your appointment.
Yep.
So you don't actually have to have the ticket. You just have to claim you have the ticket. You fill it out saying you have a rush. Then after you do that, you call and they give you an appointment. They ask you what the day is, but they just ask you what the day is in order to give you the appointment.
Yep.
And you have to ask for a specific, you have to say, and by the way, they'll tell you what city it's available. I mean, I've had to fly to Houston and Dallas. I mean, I didn't know where I was going to fly, but because they don't have emergency appointments everywhere. Right. And then you show up the morning, you submit your paperwork, you show that flight that's going to leave in whatever, 2-3 days, 24 hours.
It has to be within 14 days to get that appointment.
So basically you just get a refundable ticket and then you wait that day because they process it the same day, and then you get your passport and then you go cancel the ticket. I've done this so many times for people. And, it's not like you're not like doing anything fraudulent. You're just like, oh, I thought I was going to travel. And
I changed my mind. Yeah. And that's exactly the method my sister said to use. And I was like, it just feels like more than my mental capacity.
But for you, it is because number one, you've got to take both boys.
Yeah.
Number two, you don't know when you're going to get your appointment. God forbid those boys have tests.
Well, and Oach has to be there too because I have to, or I have to do an affidavit that proves I'm not stealing my kids.
It's not nothing. Oh, I have so many things to share to folks. And I'm so amazed. And well, first of all, I should also say the other thing we should remember, remind me to give you the key to my house because I have a new key since the last time we were there because Christina's going to my house in Spain.
I can't wait. And we are going to be very, very careful in her house in Spain because it's beautiful.
I'm saying to her because I'm like, these teenage boys, if you can't put the wrath of God in your kids, let me know because I will.
She's got white couches that they are not allowed to touch. But the good news is they are going to have their 9-year-old cousin Clyde with them. And so I feel like there's going to be some very wholesome family fun happening because Clyde adores them.
I need to find out because we have the electric scooters and that's how you kind of pop around. I need to make sure that there are 3 helmets. Because we can
always buy a helmet.
Yeah. But there's a little bike shop up the street. I just don't remember if their helmets are there, but the 3 helmets, those should be good for them.
I forgot how great all of the stores are in your town. Like, it is very, very convenient. Like,
Very shopper friendly, isn't it?
yeah, I took a picture of us while we were there, and I wanted to give it to her while I was still in, and I'm like, "Oh god, I'm in this little European village. There's no way." Well, guess what? There's a photo developing store, hop, skip, and a jump down the street. Got that picture done in no time. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, so anyway, it's, okay, so that is my F up number 1.
Yeah.
Here's my you wanna know my F up number 2? And it's gonna be fine, but it's total F up number 2, is that I booked our company offsite, and I don't come back from our company offsite until the day I leave for Spain.
The day you leave, not the day before.
The day.
Oh God. Are you guys flying from Washington, or do you all going out of?
Yeah, I got I think I told you, I put a fare watch on, and SAS offered these flights. I mean, we have exit row, no, like, all the leg room in the world. We're flying SAS. Now, it's gonna take us a little longer because we're
That's
going through
okay.
Copenhagen.
So why don't you actually tell people how to do fare watches? Because I don't know how to do a fare watch.
Oh, yeah. Well, so there's a couple different ways you can do it, but, like, I use Google Flights, and so you can go in and basically say, "I wanna keep an eye on," like, from DC to Palma. And it'll send you emails, and I kinda track, like, and I don't wanna buy a ticket just because it's the absolute cheapest, and I also don't always wanna buy a ticket, like, 8 months ahead. But I think this was, like, back in November, it popped up, and it was, like, $800 each, and then I paid, like, $20 a flight per person just to upgrade us to really great seats.
Amazing.
And so, I mean, I think last time I told you, remember when I went with you and I said, "Oh, I go into Google Flights
Mhm.
in an incognito window so that I'm not being tracked." And they don't know that I've already been searching for these flights. And
So how do you do an incognito window?
so in Chrome, you go up to the right corner where the 3 little dots are, and you click it, and then it drops down and says "New Incognito Window."
And is that changing? Is that different? Is that a different kind of trick than changing your VPN? Because
I do that too.
yeah, so this is actually super important, and this is a big difference because depending on where you're buying your ticket,
Yeah.
the price can be different. So go ahead and say what that changing your VPN. And for people who are out there who are old and never done this, it's Victor, Polly, Nancy, VPN.
Yeah.
Change your
It's a virtual private network. So, yeah, so for my VPN, I use ExpressVPN because it's pretty inexpensive, and my main reason I have a subscription to it is because I like to watch British television that I can't always get here, and I also like to watch, Great British Baking Show on Tuesday and not wait till Friday when it gets on Netflix, which is absolutely ridiculous and stupid, but literally that's why. So, yes. So you can go in an incognito window and use Google Flights, and that usually works out pretty well. But if you also wanna go and try to buy your ticket, maybe from the country to where you're going, because the deal might be better there, you can change your VPN, which basically makes the internet think that you're in a different country. Now, my big challenge is every time I do that, you have to go back and forth comparing, and you have to do monetary conversions. So there are times where you spend a lot of effort and time, and it's like the dollar difference is not drastic. So it is also then sort of a matter of how much tolerance do you have for the process. Because I've got
But people who are price sensitive, you really
yeah,
are. Yeah. So I want to add one more thing regarding flights because I've just been so clever on these things. So
yeah.
um, people will try to actually take a US city to their final destination in Europe, like all in the same ticket. It is absolutely not necessary to do that. Get the cheapest international flight you can get. Then use a different search term in Google Flights for your European portion because Ryanair, Welling, I'm just trying to go through the ones that are Iberia, basically some that are kind of sub airlines.
Discount airlines,
Discount,
yeah.
or even just discount. They may be a sub, like Iberia has Iberia Express, and Vueling is part of that, but it's a different company. Or they just have like a completely separate low cost airline, like a Spirit airline. But those flights can be incredibly cheap. The one thing you have to make sure of, particularly if you fly, for example, into a large international airport, is like, for example, if you fly into Madrid and you fly Iberia into Madrid and then you take Ryanair, it is an incredibly long distance between where you landed and where you're taking off. And I'm telling you, it can be like a 45-minute, in the US to go between terminals.
Yeah, no big deal.
And you go. So people are like, oh, 2 hours is enough. You're like, whoa, whoa, no. Because if you have to land in the airport and then you have to go through passport control and then you have to get your bag and then you have to, because you also always have to get your bag and then you have to get on that inter shuttle. I don't ever, and I do this, I fly maybe 10 times a year. And if I'm going to know I'm going to have to change terminals, I always give myself not 2 hours, friends, 3 hours.
Yeah.
I give myself 2 hours if I'm changing in the same terminal. Because the other thing about Europe is that they require you to check in like in the US, you can check in like 45 minutes in advance. In Europe, even if it's a small airport, like in Mallorca, going from Mallorca to the mainland, you have to check in. You have to have if you're going to put your bag in or you're going to check in, at least 60 to 75 minutes. So whatever you think you need in the US, add 20 to 30% on it. Do not mess around with that. Because the other thing is, depending on the type of ticket you buy, if I actually missed my flight coming back, if in the US, there are a lot more, give you a lot more graciousness in taking a missed flight and letting you apply it. They do not care in Europe. If you miss that flight,
too bad.
Too bad. So I just want to say you need more time and you need to know which terminal you're arriving in on, what terminal are you leaving on, and you've got to plan for the fact that you may be up to 2 hours in passport control, depending on, how many flights came in at that time, where you are on your airplane. So it is, you've got to be very, very conservative when you're doing those flights in between.
That's like when I got to Barcelona and I'm like wandering. I'm like, and I finally said to someone, I'm like, where is this gate? I'm so confused. They're like, oh, that's in a totally different building. Right. In a totally different place in the airport, and you have to leave and go there. And I'm like, oh, okay. But you know what? For this one, I was like, all right, here's all the places I could fly to that Ryanair goes to Palma. And so I was looking at I was fair watching that too. And then I was like, oh, we could spend a couple of days in Madrid or we could spend a couple of days somewhere else. And this SAS flight still ended up beating everything else. So it's like, you got to kind of watch all your options. Yeah. And that's where getting ahead of it sometimes is really helpful. And SAS is, I've heard, I haven't flown SAS in probably 20 years, but I think it's a pretty nice airline. But
they're all pretty comparable now.
Yeah.
By the Americans. But listen, when I go to US and I'm looking for a deal, I will look for anything from the US that is east of the Mississippi to anywhere in Europe, and then I'll figure it out. And
yeah,
that's some pretty good flights. The other thing I would like to say for folks that are booking tickets, under no circumstance should you buy basic economy. If it's cheaper, it seems like it's a better deal. Do not do it. You will regret it. Pretend like basic economy doesn't exist, because life happens and you're like, oh, well, if I'm sick, they'll just, oh, no, they won't. Oh, if I miss, they'll just, no, they won't. Just, if you're going to Europe, spend the extra $200, get the main, because at least you can apply that portion of your ticket to something else. That basic economy is for suckers.
And you don't get to pick your seat, so you really suffer.
Yeah, no. So basic economy, it's cheaper and it's teasing. It's like tempting. Don't do it. So let's talk about some other things on the before you travel, because it's interesting. My mother, who is 82, bless her little heart, although she may be 81 and she'll get mad at me when I say that she's 82. But
don't steal her youth.
Her up, and I always have to remind her, number one, do not go and get traveler's checks. I don't know how long it's.
Oh my God, I know.
And
with the stupid traveler's checks.
Do not go to the bank and get foreign currency. Do you hear me? If you do it, I will be ashamed of you. I will
embarrassed.
You'll be embarrassed. Do not go get foreign currency. But what you do have to do is, number one, call your credit card company and find out two things. The first thing is, does your credit card waive the international transaction fee? If they do not, get another credit card. Mm-hmm. And number two, that means every time you swipe that card, there should be no fee there. And number two, you've got to tell your credit card you're traveling.
Yeah.
And number three, take a second credit card.
And Saphira, when you're there, they always give you that choice, right? Between like credit or debit. Yeah. And which one is the one that's better?
This is a great thing. So I recommend so the credit or debit, I always do credit, and I always do local currency. So you're using your credit card that you have gotten your international fees waived. You've told them you're traveling, and now you use your credit card, whether you're using it for $1 or a euro 20 coffee or a $1,200 purse. When they ask you for euros or dollars, you always ask for local currency. So in this case, you always ask for euro because the bank has already negotiated something. So the second thing about money that's super important is, okay, well, how do I get cash? Sometimes your credit card will let you take out cash, but getting cash from your credit card can be super expensive. So you also want to take your debit card. Now, your debit card usually will not waive that international fee. So when you go to but you do have to tell your bank you're traveling. So you go to an ATM, you use your Bank of America card, and you put in your PIN, and it asks you what you want to take out. And you think to yourself, well, I don't want any cash selling, so I'm just going to get out 20 euros at a time. Okay, bad idea. Because every time you use that card, you are going to have, just like you do in the States, you're going to have probably a fee for using the Bank Sabadell or your local bank, whatever bank you're using there, and you're going to have a fee from your bank. So what you do is you get the maximum out, so you have minimal charges, and then you just use that cash along the way. And my final thing about money is use cash as infrequently as possible. Notably about cash or Europe, particularly with tipping, they don't have a little place when you go to restaurants where you can add money on for tips. If you want to give a tip using your credit card, you just say to the server, I'd like to add for tip, but I need to do it now, because they don't have a little place. If you don't do that, you've got to give cash or coins. And we're going to talk about tipping in a second. But you really don't need cash that often. In fact, I mean, for traveling in Europe, you don't. You do if you're traveling in Africa or in Asia more. But in Europe, you could use literally to buy a bus ticket, you can use your phone. And what we do, particularly you're going to travel with the boys, and what we do with Luca is everybody in the family has the credit card loaded on Apple Pay or on their watch. And so they can like scoot all around Spain and just have that little interface with their phone device. And we all use the same credit card. So we all have the credit card on our phones. And so that just makes it so much easier. If you do lose your credit card there, it is very hard to get a replacement, which is why you want your backup card.
That's right. Definitely. I think most of my international trips in the past few years, I maybe got out a couple $100 in cash that I would use. You know, I'd break it right away. So I had little bits of money to tip.
Yeah.
And I will say the tipping piece, and this is always so specific to the country, and everybody and all the Europeans and the Australians and everybody I always talk to, when they come to the United States, they're shocked at how much we tip. So, all right, so let's just use Europe in general as a guide. I don't think we're tipping 20%. So
we're
what are we tipping?
Not tipping 20%.
Yeah.
You're 100% not tipping.
Not tipping.
So what are we? So you and I go out. Let's say this. You and I go out for a coffee in the morning.
Yep.
And we've just spent 10 euros on a coffee. And we have these little coins, like, you know, less than $1 coins. €1 is fine. Really, you know, anything like if you're sitting down for coffee or a glass of wine, 1 or 2 euros.
Yeah.
And if you get a cup of coffee, you don't even have to tip. Europeans don't even tip. For lunches and dinners, you just spent $200. If you left 10 euros, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you feel badly, you can leave 20 euros, but like anything, definitely not 20%, definitely not 15, definitely not 10, but anything that just is like, you know,
a token. A
token, right? I mean, you don't want to go out for a $200 meal and give them 2 euros. That's silly. But a 10 euro, a 15 euro, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I remember when we were in Portugal, Oj and I would say, it's like whatever we kind of have in the change that we're holding. But there were some times where we probably over-tipped, sometimes where we probably under-tipped, because we weren't as prepared with our coins as we might have been back at home. But yeah, so that's a really good tip. I did not know that you could say, can you add it to the credit card before you run it? I just always assumed I had to find coins.
It's a big place. I mean, if it's like, you know, now in the US, they bring a little card machine over to the house, over the table. That shit was born in Europe. I remember in 1990, I think I was working in Paris in a restaurant in 92, and we had one of those machines there.
Yes.
They just got those machines last
They're
week.
just showing up now.
Yeah.
I do remember being in, I think it was in Amsterdam, maybe 10 years ago, and they came over with the thing, and I was like, it's kind of not, it just felt déclassé. And now I'm like, oh my God, who ever really wants to put their credit card down?
Well,
Like,
they would
stranger walk away.
Hard because of the privacy. But like,
Yeah.
I will tell you, like people are like, oh, well, what about a bus fare? Nope. You use your Apple Pay on the bus fare.
Yeah.
What about, 80-cent coffee? Yep. You can use your credit card for that. Like I literally, last time I was in Spain, I think I spent like 10 euros for my massage therapist. That's
Right.
what I did.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. All right. So I sometimes, if I think I can get away with it, especially when I have connections, international connections, and dealing with picking up the bags and all that BS, I think if you can plan ahead and really get your act together, bringing a carry-on is the way to go.
It is definitely the way to go. One thing to note, though, is that the permissions for sizes are different for U.S. international planes than they are for planes traveling intra-Europe. And
the Europeans are smaller.
The Europeans are smaller, and they are more rigid. Like meaning there's no permissions. The other thing that is super important is that, in the U.S., as long as every one of your liquids, your lotions and potions are less than 2 ounces, maybe it's 1.7. As long as they're each one individually, you could actually have an entire suitcase. Yes.
Yeah.
This is not the way it is in Europe. They give you a Ziploc bag, which is bigger than a sandwich bag. It's probably a sandwich
quart size.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only do each of the individual bottles have to be that limited size, all the totality of the bottles you're taking, by the way, including mascara and
deodorant,
whatever. I like deodorant. I always get super, super, super small. The toothpaste, that all has to fit in the bag. And when you go through security in Europe, that has to come out of your suitcase, much like a computer.
Yeah.
So when you pack, and now we're going to talk to packing. How do I pack to move through international airports? So the first thing I do is I get my little bag or whatever size it is, and everything that goes in that, I actually put that in. So when I pack, I have what I'm going to carry onto the plane that is going to go up above. And then I have a small crossbody that I only carry gum, lip gloss, my phone, and my passport. And that's the only thing that goes in there. And then I have like my little purse. And in my purse, I put an extra pair of panties because I'm menopause and I had a baby,
Toothbrush.
I put a toothbrush in there, but not the toothpaste because that's going to go in a little bag. I actually, because I do a lot of my own I always carry the extra pair of pants.
Yep.
And I put a little extra sweater in there. So I put a little extra, just a little extra in there just to make sure. And then my computer I put in there, whatever it is I want on the plane goes in there. Right. And then in that bag, I also put my little plastic bag of my lotions and potions because I don't want to open my suitcase in security.
Yeah.
So then all I have to do is I put my suitcase in, boom, that's all fine. And then I take my bag it's going to be like what I'm going to carry on the plane. And I take my computer out. I take my lotions and potions, and then it's all separate. And bam, boom, bing, that is the way it goes.
Yeah.
And it's so easy and it's so fast, and I'm not making a fool of myself. The other thing is belts. Do not travel with belts. You always have to take them off. Travel with tennis shoes. Mostly in Europe, you don't have to take your tennis shoes off.
Yeah.
So these are things that I've learned along the way. And whenever I make the mistake and forget to do it, I'm like, shit, what was I thinking that
I know better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember hopping around on one foot trying to take my shoes off in Denmark. This was probably 20 years ago, but after 9/11, I'm hopping around taking my shoes off, and everyone in line is just staring at me like,
have you never traveled before?
Yeah. And I'm like, aren't you taking your shoes off? And then they were, basically like, no, put your freaking shoes back on.
So compression socks, yes or no? Compression socks, absolutely yes.
I've never done it. Like the compression socks.
You want to try mine this trip?
Well, should I just buy myself some so you don't have to share?
If you're not going to use them, just try mine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
So first of all, as we age, it absolutely helps with your blood flow, but it actually helps with fatigue.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it helps with fatigue. It helps with fatigue.
Well, and you know what Oj and I both got this year is global entry. So we always had our known traveler number, TSA pre-check. And I said to him, enough of this. Let's move on. Let's grow up and let's be big kids and get global entry. So, and it's so easy to do it. So we both have global entry. So I don't know. Can we get in through global entry with our kids if they don't have it?
Nope.
So we're just going to leave them behind.
Yeah. Yeah, just make them stand in line. I love that. And Luca finally got global entry because it got to be really, really ugly.
Well, my sister got global entry for her son and said it today, and I was like, oh, damn, is that another thing I need for my kids?
Yeah. Some other things I just want to preview to folks that I always ask wherever I'm going what the situation is with hair dryers and kind of things I know, a steamer. If the place you're staying has a hair dryer, don't take your hair dryer.
Yeah.
If you think you have to curl your hair, you're going to Europe. Stop it. Don't do it. Just be.
Oh, wait. I have this one famous trip where I didn't bring anything because I was like, it is just not going to be worth it with dealing with plugging it in and all this stuff. Every picture, Saphira, I literally look like I stuck my hand in an electrical socket.
But let me tell you what I
look terrible.
But let me tell you what I do. I have a portable, God, what's it called? This is so funny. When you go and you sit underneath a hair dryer?
Yes. Yeah. The thing you can just put around your head, right?
Yeah. So basically is a portable hair dryer, portable hands-free hair dryer. I take Velcro rollers and I take my hair and I just kind of just get the water out, just kind of almost dry. I put those Velcro rollers in. I put that little bag over my head and I attach the end of the bag that looks like a elephant's nose.
Yep.
And I just sit down and, have a glass of wine and it looks like I went to the hair salon.
Yeah.
I mean, not exactly, but there's nothing extra electrical. So if you have to take something electrical, know that there's a difference between something that just converts the shape of your plug and an actual adapter that adapts to electricity. My sweet aunt, who I adore, Aunt Jerry, I'm going to have to do a call out. She took her very fancy $300 dryer to my house, and she saw that there was this little thing that just transitioned the shape of her plug.
But didn't change the voltage?
It changed the voltage, and it ruined it immediately.
Oh, yeah.
The difference between something that converts voltage and adapts. But honestly, that's the other thing is that people, they just, people don't wear heels in Europe. They don't dress up as much. They don't wear makeup. Every of my American friends that go, I'm like, whatever you think you need, take half. I mean, I have a washer and dryer at my house. You really just need to have not stinky panties.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bathing suit.
A bathing suits. You want to be warm, but you can wear the exact same pair of pants or the exact same dress every single day. Nobody cares.
No, that's boring. I want all my pictures to look cute.
Well, then buy something there.
I did. Remember how much I was shopping last time?
There's actually a really cute dress for you that I hung up in my closet that I think is going to look darling on you. I left it for you there.
Oh, good. I'm excited. And you have a hairdryer for me, right?
Yes, hairdryer.
So that trip where my hair looked like it was in an electrical socket, I finally caved and bought a flat iron. So I now travel to Europe with my own European flat iron. So I
got one.
I got one.
And oh, by the way, I have 3 steamers at my house because every time I travel to Europe, I forget, and I have European steamers. So you don't have to take that.
So one other thing that, I told you about this. I found these bathing suits that come with a skirt. And when you put the skirt on,
send me the link on that. I need some of that.
I got to find a way to buy them not on TikTok Shop because you don't shop on TikTok Shop.
No, I don't even have it. Can I tell you, when I did my new phone, I didn't even sign back up for Instagram or TikTok. I've been on LinkedIn. That's it. And I feel so good about it. Let me tell you.
Good for you. I'm still at it, but I love the idea that I can wear a dress that I can wear. I can go have lunch at one of the cafes in the city center, and then I could just hop on the trolley, head over to the beach, and I'm ready to go.
I love it.
So I'm super excited, and I feel like I'm already envisioning that I'm not going to be in a carry-on because I can already think of 12 things I want to bring. That is one of the difficult things I've struggled with in losing weight is that shopping is so much more enjoyable.
Well,
So
that is true.
I used to overshop because I was constantly trying to find things that made me feel okay in my clothes.
Yeah. And now you like to shop because things actually look good on you.
Yeah, and now I walk into a store and I try something on. I'm like, "Oh, damn, it fits. How could I not buy it?" So yeah, so that it hasn't solved that
I
problem.
understand that. I
Yeah.
understand. Okay.
All
I
right.
want to talk. So I talked about packing. I want to talk about, so we talked about overpacking. Now I want to talk
Yeah.
about something else that Americans are terrible at, and that
Yeah.
is over planning and
Yes.
oversaturating. So, when you fly to Europe, the way that the jet lag works is you fly on the plane. And so it's almost like you've been up all night, even if you've just had, whatever. And you get to Mallorca, you land in Barcelona, unless you're taking that direct flight from Newark that's just during the summer, it's a long travel day.
Yeah.
And so the trick is, I don't do it that well, but the trick is to stay up as late as possible night number one. And probably the next night, you are going to sleep the shit out of that morning.
Yeah.
The trick is to try to adapt as early on. I'm not very good at it, but that's what you're supposed to do. The return is always better because you're flying during the day. I will say for my friends that are going to be going to London, here's a little trick that I freaking love. There's a day flight.
Oh, really?
JFK at 9:30 a.m. and it gets to London at 9 at night. It's only a 6-hour flight plus the 5 to 6 hour difference.
Yeah.
But flying during the day to Europe is magic. So if you fly to London, go to JFK, they have a gorgeous TWA airport in there, and take the day flight. It's usually less expensive. It's usually less crowded. And it's so much easier just to fly during the day. So that's my little day flight trick from JFK to LHR.
I love that. Declan just said to me, he goes, "Oh, we have to fly at night again, like Portugal." I said, "That's the way it goes to Europe. That's how it works. I don't know what else to tell you."
And by the way, I was researching it. There's only the day flight. It's only that JFK.
That's it.
Yeah. New York, London. There's no other day flights, which is such a shame. But
we were just talking about that really cool TWA terminal. My sister got to go to a party there before they redid it. So she got to see it the way it originally was. And then now you can stay there. They've got,
I spend the night there all the time.
It's awesome. It's so cool. Yeah.
It's like so it's a really great little piece. I'm going to send my mother there. So
yeah, very cool. What about visas?
Visas. So my mother seems to think that you now need a visa to go to the UK. I have not seen that you do. But so in Europe, you don't need a visa. I've never seen a need for a visa.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some changed I think there may be some changed protocols because people within Europe are going to talk to each other. Of course, the UK is no longer, part of the European Union.
Well, and also we're now on a lot of travel advisories, as the U.S. is on travel advisories, so they may not like us coming.
Well, I'll tell you, I do think it's worthwhile looking, and I do think it's also worthwhile just knowing where your embassy is, wherever you are. I think that's super important. But so I was talking about like overpacking, and now I want to talk about overplanning. I'm just going to call it out there. Americans who pride themselves on only taking one vacation every 4 years and they go for 6 days. You all are all fucking idiots. You spend way too much money on other stupid things. Take a freaking 10-day trip and don't try to see 20 countries.
Yes.
Stay in one place. Enjoy that place. Explore that place. Find the places around that place.
Yeah.
But don't try to go everywhere in 1 week. It is so... I'm just telling you, you don't know what you don't know. And I'm telling you, you don't know this. Go to the same beach 4 times. Relax a little bit. It is so much more enjoyable than to overdo it. Don't overdo it. And plus, it makes you look so American. That's such an American thing to do.
Such an American. Yeah. And the best part was when we were in Portugal, we did hit 3 towns, but we had good 3
You didn't hit 3 countries.
Right. And we also got to loop back. We went back to a town and went to a restaurant we didn't get to go to. We had time where we had a touristy thing to do and we were running late. We were going to miss the window and we said, fine, let's just go explore what other towns we can find.
Now, I'm talking about people who go to Portugal, Spain, and France in 6 days. That's who I am judging right now.
Yeah. No. And I think, I mean, it's like day 3, you finally start to figure out where the bar is that's cool and where the people hang out and what the things are that they do and the little shop that you didn't know was there. That's when you start to figure it out. I also find that a lot of times the more touristy cities are the ones I need the least amount of time in.
Yeah.
So like I think I spent 2 full days in Barcelona. Now, if I had a friend there that I was hanging out with, that would be different. But I've hit the touristy check boxes in Barcelona. I would much rather spend my time in a nice, I'd like go out to the countryside or to the beach or somewhere where I can actually just immerse myself in it, like being in Soyer, and just enjoy myself, than hit a city and just do let's get through every touristy thing,
Well, and that's a very American thing to do. The other thing that I've known people to do is they actually make all of their dinner reservations before they go to a place they've never been to before. That is, I mean, unless you're going to San Sebastian, where it is all like, Michelin star restaurants, fine. I can imagine why you do that. But if you're going to Spain, if you're going to Mallorca, first of all, you don't know. A lot of those places are overpriced and not even that good. I mean, there is a beautiful restaurant called Ben Stavai, and I'll send you that. And you may want to get a reservation there, Christine, with the fam. It's really, really beautiful. I can tell you. I can show you what that is. But besides that, I mean, Europeans have such wonderful local places. And the food may not be like as refined, whatever, and like the size of a dime. The food's so good that you can just get something a lot simpler that's still really delicious and beautiful. So I think that's another thing that I've seen, like people I know go and think they're all hot shit because they only spend 150 euros a person on a meal.
We have one dinner reservation.
Which one? Where is it?
It was a restaurant recommended to Alex from her friend who is from Spain.
Okay.
And I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but it's Canatoneta.
Oh, yeah. Send it to me. Is it
Canatoneta? So 3 words.
Oh, yeah. Send it to me so I can look at it.
Yeah. So she has a really good friend he's Spanish, from Spain. Spent a lot of time in.
Is it in Tramontana? Is it in my region or is it somewhere else?
I think it's about a 45-minute drive.
Yeah, there are some places that are in kind of we'll call them destination areas that are really pretty. But I'll also give you the Ben Stavai one because it's really beautiful. The other thing I'll tell folks who are traveling in Europe, in the U.S. you cannot. I mean, you can go. We went out to a French restaurant the other night. And we bought like a bottle of wine for $45. Maybe there was a $38 bottle of wine on the menu, but in Europe, you can get off the menu a gorgeous bottle of wine for 25 euros.
Yes.
And so you don't have to spend 60 euros because that's what you would spend here. You're going to see that the wine list looks really, really cheap. And the wine is just priced like affordably and accessibly. It's not cheap wine or bad wine. We just overprice our wine.
Yeah. And I remember we were in the wine shop in your town and I was like, Saphira, it's like 10 euro. It's got to be gross. And you're like, it's not. Just try it. And it was so good. Yeah. So this restaurant is, it looks like it's 45 minutes away. And
send it to me just so I can see where it is and I'll look for it.
So you have to go around.
Oh, yeah. That's not a big deal, though. I see. So you have to go out a little bit.
Yeah.
So. Oh, I know this one. Yeah. This is lovely. Yeah. This is lovely.
All right. Well, good.
I want to talk a little bit more about practical things about being healthy. Okay. So everybody knows that in Europe, like things close down and Spain's time is siesta time. And so you're like, and they don't sell, for example, at the grocery stores, they don't sell drugs. So like if you need drugs, if you like have somebody has diarrhea or they like are vomiting, you can run to Target and grab what you need. That is not the way it works in Europe. You have to go to a pharmacy for that. And then, of course, all the pharmacies or everything seems like it's closed during that siesta time. So one of the things that the towns all do is all of the pharmacies make a decision that one of the pharmacies, no matter if it is like a Sunday, after hours, during siesta, or a holiday, and everything, including the pharmacies, seem to be shut down. You go to the closest pharmacy and you look on, there'll be a little sign and it will tell you that one of the pharmacies is available 24 hours.
That's awesome.
You may have to call to have them come down.
Yeah.
But if you get sick or you're in a bind, they will absolutely take you.
And I have a love-hate with the European pharmacy system. My hate is that I can't just browse products and pick them off the shelf. Most of them, like even a cold medicine or a nose spray, you got to talk to the pharmacist. The thing that I like is I generally get really great products that work so well.
Yeah.
And I've also learned that if I get one I don't like, I just go into a different pharmacy and talk to that pharmacist and they'll usually give me something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I come home and I'm like, I mean, I got a cold when I was at Saphira's last time, and I got this nose spray that was Vicks brand. I'd never seen this exact nose spray in the United States. I looked at the active ingredients. I've tried to find some version of it in the United States. It was magic. It was even better than
now you're like, I have to go get more of that nose spray.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is my, my only challenge is every time I go in, it depends on the pharmacist you get and how great their English is, how much you can explain what you're looking for. But the pharmacies really do have great stuff that you don't have to get prescriptions for.
And it's cheap.
So cheap. And then they're like €3. And you're like, what? €3 for this thing of
I buy my estradiol over there.
Oh, you do?
10 euros. It's like, I don't know. Everything is so much less expensive over there.
Can you buy that over the counter there? Do you have to? Yeah.
Yeah. You can buy Ozempic.
I know, but they can't buy the high doses of Ozempic. I've looked.
You can't.
It's the low doses. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty funny how I was in Mexico and I was like running around trying to find Ozempic at the pharmacies, and they were like, we have the lowest dose, and I was like, never mind. I'll figure this out.
Those are my top tips. Tips.
I have a couple other things. I really need visuals. So I'm not a person who can just read a guidebook and get ideas. So I really love using social media carefully to figure out things that I want to do. So you'll find that there are things that get posted over and over and over again because they become trendy to go do.
Yeah.
Those I try to avoid. There's also some that look too good to be true, and they've touched it up, they've made it look perfect. They're a travel influencer and they get they need everybody gawking at the things. But that has been one of the ways that I've been able to, I have a couple of travel influencers that I really trust and like, and I look at that and get some ideas of things that I want to do. And sometimes that just helps me get a feel for, if they're shooting video and you can feel that it's super touristy, then I might be like, I'm going to avoid that and I'm going to look for something else.
Yeah.
I love being in a country where I can sort of speak the language, so anything Spanish speaking feels like an advantage to me, because we can then ask people ask local people, where would you eat? What would be good? What would be delicious? Although Lindsay and I had dinner in that one restaurant that you said was more touristy, and we thought it was an absolutely exquisite meal. Remember that one?
I don't remember.
And we got these insane raviolis, and the two of us were like, oh my God. And then we came home and you're like, where'd you eat? We were like, oh, and you're like, oh, that's such a touristy place.
Yeah. I need to tell you about some of the new places that are good from I was there. So,
so that I think, asking and being able to talk to people is super helpful. I'm going to try to utilize Saphira's network of friends that I luckily have met and consider friends now, because I spent a week with them when I was there. So that gives me a huge advantage. I'm like, Saphira, make sure I've already WhatsApped Julian. He gets there, I think a couple days after. They're getting there the 15th of April.
Oh, I thought they were going the 2nd. Okay.
Yeah. So, but that's good. We overlap. So, he and Chris are going to be, unfortunately forced to entertain us at some point.
It'd be just fine.
What's the name of their village?
Fornalush.
Okay.
Yeah,
so the thing I really liked about their little village was that it felt very, very local. It did not, we sat out and ate cheese and meats and bread and wine, and it just felt like I was pretending to be a real European. That was the coolest. I love that. So
now you guys going to have a good time. It's great weather. It's cold to swim.
That's okay. I don't want to swim anyway. I don't think I swam last time. I think it was just always enjoying the weather and the sunshine and the shopping. So, all right. Well, so for all the folks heading off on spring break, hopefully this is helpful and you're not paying hundreds of dollars to get your son's passports at the last minute.
And you're not going to the bank to get local currency, or I will be ashamed of you.
Okay. I have one last thing about that. Oj got, I think he got traveler's checks. He went to the American Express place and got traveler's checks on our honeymoon. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I told him, don't do it. We won't need them. Please do not get that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We didn't use them. We came home with them. He had to deal with getting the money back.
Yeah.
And so now it's so funny. Every trip he looks at me, he's like, should I go get some traveler's checks? I'm like, I dare you. I dare you to go get traveler's checks. Come on, 1984. Get back to 2020.
Well, and the problem is I mean, honestly, some people they don't they take a trip every 10 years, so they just remember what they did last time. They can't remember.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, happy traveling. Bon voyage. And yeah, when I go to Asia, you're going to have to give me the full rundown.
Absolutely.
That feels like
I hope there's a lot of feedback on this because I really think on this one you're going to thank us later.
Absolutely. All right. Have a good one.